Hello, and welcome to Healthy Start. Today, we're diving into a critical topic, 10 skin clues that could signal diabetes or poorly controlled blood sugar. These signs are your body's way of waving a red flag, and catching them early could be a game changer for your health. Let's explore these 10 alarming skin symptoms, understand what they mean, and learn how you can take action. Stick around until the end for clear visuals of these conditions. But don't worry, we've blurred the graphic images in the first half for those who prefer to ease into it. If you want to see the unblurred images, they'll be shown later. First, let's talk about dark patches on the skin, known as acanthosis nigricans. These patches often appear in areas where the skin creases, like the neck, armpits, or groin. They can feel velvety to the touch and look darker than the surrounding skin. While they're strongly linked to insulin resistance and diabetes, they're not exclusive to these conditions. Other causes, like allergies or autoimmune diseases, can also trigger similar patches. This brings us to an important term, pathognomonic. A pathognomonic sign is one that almost certainly points to a specific condition. Most skin signs we're discussing today, including acanthosis nigricans, aren't pathognomonic, meaning they could stem from various causes. So we need to look at the bigger picture, your overall health, lifestyle, and other symptoms to piece it together. The second sign is more aggressive, skin patches called necrobiosis lipoidica. These patches are inflamed and can appear yellow, red, or brown. The term comes from Latin and Greek, describing tissue that looks like it's dying and has a fatty appearance. Fortunately, this condition is rare, but it's more common in type 1 diabetes than type 2, suggesting an autoimmune component. If you notice these patches, it's a sign to get checked out, as they could point to deeper health issues. Next up, we have male pattern baldness. You might have heard claims that it's tied to insulin resistance, but let's clear the air. Most studies show no strong link between male pattern baldness and diabetes. Instead, baldness is largely driven by genetics, specifically a byproduct of testosterone called dihydrotestosterone, or DHT. The number of DHT receptors in your scalp, coded by the X chromosome, plays a big role. Men have one X and one Y chromosome, so if their X chromosome carries the gene for DHT sensitivity, they're more likely to go bald. Women with two X chromosomes have a backup, which is why male pattern baldness is rare in females. However, women with insulin resistance might convert more estrogen to testosterone, slightly increasing their DHT levels. Even then, their two X chromosomes usually protect them from significant hair loss. So, while nutrition might play a small role, baldness is mostly hereditary. For example, my grandfather had a full head of hair, but my dad and brother weren't so lucky. Their hair was so thick it could practically bounce coins. The fourth sign is hidradenitis suppurativa, a condition where sweat glands become inflamed and ooze. The name breaks down to hydra for sweat, adeno for gland, itis for inflammation, and suppurare for oozing. This results in painful boils, sometimes called acne inversa because they turn inward. These boils can be uncomfortable and persistent, often appearing in areas like the armpits or groin. Number 5 is blisters, specifically bulosis diabeticorum. These are fluid-filled blisters that can pop up in people with diabetes, especially those with poorly controlled type 2 diabetes. There's nothing particularly unique about these blisters, they're just a condition associated with diabetes. But the term poorly controlled is worth unpacking. In mainstream medicine, managing diabetes often means taking medications like metformin or insulin to lower blood sugar. But managing a condition isn't the same as reversing it. True management, in our view, means improving your health, not just masking symptoms with chemicals. We'll dive deeper into reversing diabetes later. The sixth sign is skin tags. These are small flaps of skin that hang off, often around the eyes, neck, or armpits. They're different from moles because they're more like loose flaps than raised bumps. In the past, doctors weren't sure what caused skin tags, but now we know insulin resistance and high blood sugar are major drivers. The good news: If you address insulin resistance, you may see your skin tags fade or disappear. Number 7 is rosacea, a condition marked by redness on the skin. Rosacea can look different from person to person and is often confused with eczema or psoriasis. But here's a key distinction. Psoriasis isn't just a skin issue, it's an autoimmune condition that affects joints, causing arthritis-like inflammation. This is why paying attention to skin signs is crucial. They're not just surface-level problems. They often point to something deeper, like inflammation or immune dysfunction. The 8th sign is xanthelasma, yellowish scaly patches that form on the eyelids, especially near the inner corner of the eye. The words anthos means yellow in Greek, and elasma refers to a plate-like structure. These patches are cholesterol deposits, which are harmless and painless in themselves, but they signal that your body isn't processing cholesterol properly. While high cholesterol isn't inherently bad, buildup from poor processing can be a problem. Plus, xanthelasma is a great word to memorize if you're a Scrabble fan. Number 9 is acne or acne vulgaris, often thought of as a teenage issue. While teens may not typically have insulin resistance, their diets high in sugar and processed foods can drive acne. This same dietary pattern also fuels blood sugar spikes, linking acne to diabetes risk. So, those persistent pimples might be a clue to check your blood sugar. Finally, number 10 is ulcers, not stomach ulcers, but open wounds on the skin that refuse to heal. These are one of the closest things to a pathognomonic sign for diabetes. If you have non-healing ulcers, especially on your feet or legs, it's a strong indicator of diabetes. These wounds are a major concern because they can lead to serious complications if left untreated. Now, let's talk about what you can do. Many sources will tell you to manage diabetes by controlling blood sugar with drugs, exercising, quitting smoking, losing weight, or inspecting your feet daily. These aren't bad suggestions, but they miss a critical piece, addressing the root cause. Why isn't cutting sugar and carbs, which spike insulin, at the top of the list? Reversing diabetes isn't about taking more insulin or metformin, it's about changing your lifestyle. Eat real food, low carb, high fat, protein, and vegetables. Move your body to improve circulation. These steps can reverse type 2 diabetes in nearly every case, even if you've had it for 20 years. Type 1 diabetes is different, it's autoimmune and can't be reversed, but you can still manage it better with these principles. To catch diabetes early, monitor your blood markers. Hemoglobin A1C should be below 5.3. At 5.4, it's not a crisis, but don't let it creep up. Prediabetes starts at 5.7, so aim to stay closer to 5.3. Fasting insulin is another key test. A value under 5 is ideal, with super-sensitive individuals as low as 2 or 3. The official range says anything under 25 is fine, but at 24, you're already heading toward diabetes. Triglycerides are also telling. If your body processes fuel well, triglycerides stay low, ideally under 100, with many low-carb or keto dieters hitting 50 to 80. High triglycerides, like 200 or 400, signal insulin resistance. Another marker is VLDL, or very low-density lipoprotein. Subtract HDL and LDL from total cholesterol to get VLDL. Anything over 20 suggests insulin resistance, while low-carb eaters often see values as low as 8 or 10. How do you reverse insulin resistance? Start with diet. A paleo approach cuts sugar, processed foods, grains, and dairy, slashing 80% of your carbs. You're left with meat, vegetables, and real food. If you're very insulin resistant, go stricter with low carb, high fat, cutting out sweet potatoes and berries. A ketogenic diet takes it further, keeping carbs below 5% of calories to enter ketosis. Some go carnivore, eating mostly meat with a few non-starchy vegetables, or even carnivore, eating only meat for 0 carbs. Carnivore can help because it's an elimination diet, reducing allergens that might trigger skin issues. Another option is autoimmune paleo AIP, which skips grains, processed foods, nightshades, and lectins, allowing certain vegetables. These diets work differently for everyone, so experiment to find what suits you. For those who want visuals, we're about to flash through images of these conditions quickly. You can pause to take a closer look. We'll show acanthosis nigricans, necrobiosis lipoidica, male pattern baldness, hidradenitis suppurativa, bulosis diabeticorum, skin tags, rosacea, xanthelasma, acne vulgaris, and non-healing ulcers. These images drive home how these signs appear and why they matter. In closing, don't wait for your body to break down before acting. Think of your health like car maintenance. A $50 oil change prevents a $5,000 engine repair. Why not do the same for your body? Catch these skin clues early, check your blood markers, and make lifestyle changes to reverse diabetes risk. Your body deserves better care than your car, so act now. If you found this video helpful, please like it, share it with friends and family, and subscribe to Healthy Start. Hit that bell icon to turn on all notifications so you never miss a life-saving video. Thanks for watching, and here's to your health.